All right, so in this video that I'm about to react to is something I saw on my feed on Instagram, and I had posted it on my story, but I said, you know what, this would make a great video to make because they're talking about tariffs, and it seems like how tariffs works is totally new to these people. And again, this is Fox and Friends, so let me go ahead and tee this up, and I'm going to play what they had to say, and then I'm going to react to it.
There's an item in the New York Post that we all have in front of us. It's an exclusive story, and it talks about how with these 104% tariffs that went into effect, we think that China is going to have to pay for it, but it tells a story of a...
All right, so the first thing that stood out when I saw this the first time is that he says, we think that China's going to have to pay for this. No one fucking thinks that. If you have at least an undergrad degree or even a high school diploma from a decent high school, then you know how tariffs work. Is a tax that's levied on the consumer that goes to the federal government on imports. So if I order something from a country that has a tariff on it, I am the person that's paying the tariff. Everyone knows that. So he's saying that we thought something else. We didn't think that. Now, I get that Donald Trump says that, but just because he says it doesn't make it true, no matter how many times he repeats it.
A special needs toy importer. And when the tariffs went into effect at midnight, his tariff, he's been paying a tariff because he gets stuff from China, $26,000 a year. His tariff bill went from $26,000 at midnight to $346,000.
So think about what he said. So the guy already was paying tariffs because we already had tariffs on China. Okay, we increased the amount, so now he's paying more tariffs. So how can he sit there and say we think that China's paying a tariff when the guy was already paying tariffs before the tariffs went up?
And that's money he's going to have to come out of his pocket. It sounds like he's going to have to go ahead and close down part of his business. He tried to make the toys in the United States, but the tariff on that, his most popular item, went from $0 to $17 at midnight. And what he told the New York Post is people don't understand the tariff situation. They think just foreign countries are paying for the tariffs. That's not true.
The only people that think that are people who listen to Donald Trump. No one else thinks that.
Half of the tariffs are being paid for by U.S.-based companies. Yeah. So when you look at those big numbers and they look good, just remember that according to this guy, half of the small businesses and half of the tariffs are being paid by Americans.
Well, and he keeps saying half of the tariff. No, all of the tariff is being paid for by the person who is ordering or buying the product, not the country. The country where the product comes from pays 0% of the tariff. All of the tariff is paid by the person who's ordering it. When it arrives here, there's a process in which it's identified who is ordering this, and they have to pay this.
There's an item in the New York Post that we all have in front of us. It's an exclusive.
So I don't know why these people continue to lie. Like, I know that they know better. Like, they know better. But then again, I have to remind myself that Fox News had to pay $750 million to Dominion voting machines because they kept pushing a lie saying that these voting machines were flipping votes from Biden to Trump. And so they went to court, and they were probably going to end up paying more than that if they would have been found guilty, but they settled for $750 million because they were lying. Okay, don't take my word for it. Google Fox News Dominion lawsuit settlement. Why do you think Tucker Carlson is no longer at Fox News? Because he was one of the main people pushing his lies, and then they had access to his personal text messages, in which in the personal text messages, he's saying that Trump's full of shit, but then he's going on air perpetuating the lie. So we just can't really believe anything that Fox News is saying about anything because they're not really a news channel. They're more like a propaganda network. It's almost like me. Except I'm not doing propaganda. I'm just telling you what I really think. But it's my opinion. So they're like an opinion channel masquerading as a news channel, right? So when I sit here and see they finally have to admit, and the thing is, they're talking about this one guy, but this is going to be numerous small businesses around the country that their business is dependent upon them ordering products from China and other places that might have tariffs on it. And if the tariff goes up, that means that their cost goes up. And then the thing is, depending on what they're selling, it either they can pass that cost on to the consumer, or the cost will be so much that no one will buy it. And so those businesses are going to go out of business. And so so on the one hand, Trump is saying the tariff is designed to bring manufacturing back here. Okay, if that's true, then the tariffs have to stick around. They can't just, be negotiated away. So one day they're here, the next day they're not. One day they're here, the next day they're not. How is that going to encourage someone to bring manufacturing here if they start the process of looking into that and then all of a sudden the tariff is gone to where it doesn't make sense for them to do it anymore? So I just want to make this video and just highlight the bullshit that Fox is putting out. And I hope that people have some type of media literacy to where they're not just believing anything that they're fucking seeing on the internet and on TV, and actually looking into anything where there's two sides or people have a contradicting view on something. You need to try to look and figure out what the fucking facts are instead of just going with the side that I like. Like, just stop doing that shit.